All right, so here we go. We are going to be installing your new lower arch control arms from VesselPowersports. They will come with 2 bolts for the shock, bushings that I've already installed in shims, or
bushing sleeves.
Bushing sleeves. There we go, bushing sleeves. All right, that's what you're gonna get in your kit. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, first step, you're gonna take your lower hub bolt, we call that the hub bolt, off of the lower control arm.
What size is it?
14 millimeter. Okay, now that's free. You're gonna leave that right there. Don't yank on this because you don't want to pull your axle apart or anything like that. Next, you're gonna get a 17 millimeter. And a crescent wrench. Or a, I guess a 19. Yeah, 19. 19 millimeter. There are 2 washers here. You are going to reuse them, one on each side of the shock. Careful not to lose them. They like to run away. I've already disconnected the sway bar on here as well. It bolts right down here. You'll have to have an extension or a pair of needle nose vice grips to grab that, or some kind of pliers to grab that, and a 14 millimeter wrench or socket to get that off.
Can you still use a sway bar with our arms?
You can still use the sway bar with our arms. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can. We do have the attachments on there. Next, you're going to take 14 millimeter. Well, you can do it without the swivel. And your lower control arm is removed. And as a step to make everything flow a little smoother, putting it in, the new lower control arm in, you want to tap those out just a little bit. Just like so on both of them. It's not going to hurt nothing, it's going to squeeze it back together when you go back in and tighten the bolt. There are 2 different sides. You're gonna have the left one or the right one, which the shock mount is at the rear, and the left one, shock mount is at the rear also. You can put them on backwards. And grab the right one. Slide her up in there like so. Give the bolts a little love tap up in there.
Tap it.
And you're gonna put your nuts back on. Don't tighten them up just yet. Well, Now we're going to take our knuckle bolt. That's what we're going to call it, knuckle bolt. You want to put it facing backwards, so if you ever hit a stump or a rock or something, it don't mess up the threads on the bolt. Oh, forgot one part. Go ahead and put your shock down past that before you put the knuckle bolt in, so it'll sit down in there like so. Now you're going to grab the 2 washers that you kept and the bolt that comes in the kit. And you want to make sure the bolt goes from the front back, so you don't have no threads sticking out here that'll hit and rip your CV boot. Get the nut on the back just like that. And now you go through and tighten everything up. Jeez. Now this is where the needle nose vice grips come in, or a pair of pliers of some kind.
Or a 17 wrench.
17, is it 17 or 17 wrench? Let's get a 17 wrench. Now, come back to the back. Now it's time to tighten up the shock bolt. And one side of the control arm install is done. Only installing one side on this one for video purposes. When you install both sides, before you tighten up your sway bar link on one side, have the other side in and the bolts on the sway bar, so it's easier to tighten up and you don't have to push down or anything like that.